Today I'm going to be making a really easy chocolate sponge cake, and here are the ingredients that we need. 6 eggs, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of granulated sugar, a half a cup of cocoa powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So those are the ingredients, so let's get started. So what I have here is a piece of parchment paper. I've got my sieve, and we're going to sift our dry ingredients. So I have my flour, my cocoa powder, and my salt. And we'll just sift that right onto our parchment paper. Grab the back of a spoon and just put. Perfect. So we have our sifted ingredients ready to go. My parchment paper is going to act as a funnel later on when we're adding them to our mixer. For our next step, we're going to start mixing our eggs and sugar. However, at this point, I want to make sure that you have your oven already preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. That is a must. So I have cracked my 6 eggs, and those are ready to go into the mixer. We'll just pop those in there. I'll grab my little beaters, my little whisks, and I just want to mix the eggs up just a little bit before we add our sugar. I'll add in our vanilla. I'll get my mixer going again. And now I'm going to take my sugar and get all of that in there. And at this point, I want to get my machine going on full speed, and I'm going to run that for about 8 minutes. I want to get a lot of volume out of my eggs. So I'm going to get my machine going really high, and I'll be back in about 8 minutes time. So this has been going for 8 minutes. My mixture is really nice and fluffy. My oven is going, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the mixer going again, and then I'm going to grab all of our dry ingredients, which are on my parchment paper, and I'm going to slowly start pouring them into the mixer, but my mixer needs to be going. So I gather my paper up like this, so I make a funnel, and then I'm just going to slowly start incorporating the dry ingredients. I'm going to turn my mixer off. I am ready to go. We're going to remove our bowl. I have a 7-inch tin here, and I'm going to get that right into the tin. And I've lined the tin with parchment paper so we can get our cake out really easily after it has baked. Okay, that's perfect. And now, without any hesitation, this is going to go right into my 350 degree oven. I'm going to bake this about 40 minutes. Okay, here we go. That is extremely hot. Just came out of the oven. I'm going to let it cool down, and then we'll unmold it. I baked it for 40 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and it looks beautiful and it smells really, really good. So our chocolate sponge cake has been cooling for about a half an hour. I'm just going to take my spatula. I just want to make sure that I get a clean break. So all the way around. Let's go right to the bottom. That parchment paper is going to help us just pop this right out. Still quite warm. Put this on top, flip it over, and watch. Perfect. And that's the magic of having parchment paper on the bottom of your baking tin. And then you can simply take the parchment and just gently peel it off. That smells really good. And we'll just take it and flip it over, and then we're going to let it completely cool before I cut into it. Smells really, really good. So I'll let that cool, and then I'll be back again. So my cake has completely cooled now, and I'm just going to slice off the top. There we go. And there's our beautiful interior. That looks good. And then I'm just going to slice this again. Now you could do 3 slices, so you could go one, like do actual 2 here, 1 here, and 1 here to create 3 layers, or what you can do is just go right in the middle to get 2, which I'll do today. And I am using a serrated knife. It makes things a lot easier when you're cutting cakes. And there we have it, our beautiful chocolate sponge cake. So this here is dark chocolate ganache. If you want to know how to make this recipe, I'll put a link to it in the description box below the video. The reason why this looks a little different is that it's very, very cold, and I also use my hand mixer for about 5 minutes to really whip some air into this, and you can see how thick this is now. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this into a piping bag, and I'm going to pipe a little bit on for our center layer. But this is really, really nice. Really beautiful stuff. Now if you keep this warm, it will turn into a beautiful kind of like a liquid frosting that you could actually pour over the top. But right now, I'm going to pop this into a piping bag. I'm using a 1A tip. Let me just verify that. A Wilton 1A tip. I'm going to put some into my piping bag and I'll be back in a second. So I've loaded up my piping bag and we are ready to go. And I just wanted to mention before I start piping, you can see all of the nice holes that were created by the actual eggs while our beautiful sponge cake was baking. So I'm just going to go in a circular motion. That looks awesome. And I'm going to grab our top and just get that right on there. Give it a little bit of a push. I do want to get all of that ganache compressed. Then you can grab a palette knife and just go all the way around if you want to make it a perfect job. And that looks good, just like that. So now we are ready for our next step. The little bit of chocolate ganache that I have left here, I'm going to put it back into my bowl and I'm going to heat this on a double boiler on my stove, and I'm going to add chocolate to it and a little bit more cream so that we have enough to pour right over the top. So I'm going to go do that now and I'll be back in 5 minutes or so. So I've added to the little bit of dark chocolate ganache that we had, I heated it up and we are ready to go. And the first thing that you'll notice is that it's much darker, and that's because it has not been whipped and it's not cool. So there is no air that I've incorporated into the ganache. You can see how nice and rich that is. I'm just going to grab some of this and start getting that right on the top. So you can see there's many different ways of using chocolate ganache. You can use it like this, or you can chill it and whip it. Let's just put that here. And I'll just grab a spatula and just help this climb over the edge here. And then we'll just let gravity take over and it'll start dripping down. And the warmer your ganache is, the thinner it will become. And you don't have to let it all drip down in a uniform fashion. You can have parts of your sponge cake showing if you wish. That looks good. So there we have it. My beautiful chocolate sponge cake with dark chocolate ganache. So my cake has been cooling now in the fridge for a few hours and it's really chilled down and I'm ready to move it. I'm going to put it onto my turntable. To make this job really easy, I have my little Wilton cake lifter. I do have a video of me using this just to show you how really nice this product is, but I'll show you how easy it is again. So I'm just going to grab my cake here and I'm just going to slide this right in. I'll move this over so that you can see this a little better. And what I love about this is how large this is. And I'm just going to get it. And I can get right underneath. Just like that. And you can see that it takes that whole cake in one shot. And I really love that. Get this over here. Make sure I'm on camera. And then I can just get the cake right out. Perfect. I'll just move this over. I've got a serving plate and I will just take a nice slice out of my beautiful cake. Get my knife right underneath there. And there we have it. Our beautiful slice. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you wish. I really do appreciate that. So that's it, and I'll see you next time.